Hello, welcome to Gen Z Finance. I'm an older Gen Z here on YouTube documenting my financial journey. Today's video is part 2 of my new budget setup series in YNAB. Part 1 is already posted on my channel, and in it I walked through all of my new categories for you, which you can see here as an overview. And I also explained some of the big changes to how and what I'll be budgeting come 2021, because I'm going to implement this new budget on January 1st of 2021. So make sure you check out that video if you have not already. For part 2, I will be setting up all of my goals for each of my categories. I realized that I rarely ever talk about YNAB goals on my channel, but they are really one of my favorite features and one of the best features in YNAB, I think. They were also recently updated earlier this year in 2020, so I decided this would be a good time to kind of go through all of my categories line by line and talk you through which goals I would use for each type of expense or savings category. And then please make sure you hit the subscribe and bell notification buttons down below to follow along when I post part 3 of this series, which will be when I add all of my accounts in and actually distribute and budget out all of my money into all of my categories. Also, before we start, I wanted to mention that if at any point during this video you decide you would like to try YNAB or you need a budget for yourself, please check out the description box below for a link to a 34-day free trial. And then when you subscribe to YNAB for the year, we will both get 1 extra month for free. So that's a great link to check out down below. All right, with all of that out of the way, let's begin. Up here at the top, I've already done one of these goals, the bills to mom. I've already set that goal. And what I chose was a monthly needed for spending goal, and I'm going to need to budget $400 every month. So the needed for spending was the perfect goal to use. I'm also going to be doing needed for spending for my monthly subscriptions. And so this is going to be $10.98. And it will be monthly as well. And then the day doesn't really matter, especially since I'll be budgeting 1 month ahead anyway, but you can pick a specific day. I guess I'll just have this ready on the 1st. Again, doesn't really matter. And then same thing with the annual subscriptions. It will be a needed for spending monthly. It'll be $23.49 that I will need, and I guess we'll do on the 1st. Next, we're going to move into monthly varied. So for gas, you can see here on this line, I have typed in $65. So that's what I plan to budget per month for the most part. However, I do like to give myself a little bit of buffer when it comes to gas, just in case there's a month where I have to go to the gas station 3 times instead of just the normal 2 times that I budget for. So I'm now only going to want to have $100 in this gas category. So that's actually what I'm going to enter in here into the goal amount. And again, it's going to be needed for spending, which means that I can fund up to $100 every month, and then I can spend from it as needed throughout the month. And then at the end of every month, as cash rolls over, I can either unbudget money from this category if I have more than $100 available, or if I spent too much on gas in 1 month, this goal will let me know and say, hey, you need to budget more than just the $65 that you're already budgeting for if you want to get back up to your goal amount of $100, always ready for you to spend. So we're going to save that here. For dining out, we can go ahead and create a goal. It's again going to be needed for spending because I'm going to be allowed to spend from it as the month goes on. It's going to be for $25. Other/miscellaneous will also be needed for spending and will be $50 a month. And then fun, I'm going to do something a little bit differently with this. Instead of needed for spending, I'm going to do a target savings balance. I'm not going to have a specific date. I'm just going to say, hey, I want $100 saved in here at any given time. And that's because I don't plan to contribute to this category every month. I'm going to give myself $100 at the beginning of the year. And anytime I spend from this category throughout the months, it's then going to be my responsibility for that month or for the next month to refund this category as needed or as I have room to in my budget back up to the $100. So I have a target balance savings goal of just $100. Now for giving, this will also be a needed for spending because I'm going to be doing $20 every month. So we'll save that. Gifts. So this gifts category is for the entire year. It covers all gift situations. My yearly budget for gifts is $1,200, and that's what I'm allowed to spend throughout the entire year, however I see fit. And that's just what I feel comfortable, again, based on the gifts I want to give throughout the year for birthdays and events, and then saving up also throughout the year for Christmas. This one is going to be needed for spending because I'm going to spend from this category throughout the year. So it's going to be needed for spending, but instead of monthly or weekly, it's going to be this by date. And I'm going to set this for December 1st of 2021. I want $1,200 budgeted into this category by December 1st of 2021. That's going to tell me that I need to budget $85.72 every month to hit this goal. So for family giving, I'm actually going to treat family giving as a kind of monthly savings builder. I don't really know exactly how much my maximum save for this category is going to be. I just know I want to set aside $50 every month for it. And at some point in the future, once I get this to a certain balance that I feel comfortable with, I will just delete this goal or stop contributing to this category. For now, I'm going to say I want $50 budgeted every single month into this so that I can build up the savings in this category. And then random acts of kindness is going to get no goal because I'm not budgeting anything for that. Just as an opportunity comes up, I can pull that money as necessary from other categories. So now into my sinking funds. Car ownership, this is going to be another monthly savings builder, and again it's going to be for $50, and that's just going to roll over every month and continue to build. Same thing for clothing. We will consider this a monthly savings builder, 25. Again for electronics. A lot of sinking funds, at least for me, are monthly savings builders, so electronics will be 15 every month. And as will travel. And then again, you can always change and adjust these goals at any time. You can change the amount, you can change the date, and you can just edit or delete them throughout the year. I don't think I will be having any goals for medical, dental, events or holidays. I will just budget towards these as I want. And then there is no goal for taxes. I just put 15% into this category every time I get a part-time paycheck just to make sure I'm withholding enough. Okay, so for my Roth IRA, I think what I'm going to do is needed for spending again, but I'm going to do a buy date. And so the amount will be $6,000, and then again, December 1st of 2021, and then save goal. So again, what this does is it takes the goal amount, divides it by the number of months left, and then comes up with what I need to budget every single month to reach that $6,000 goal. It's a little bit off because it's counting November and December of 2020, but once January 1st rolls around, we'll adjust this and it will be the $500 every single month. So the reason I like to use this spending goal by date, this way it just allows me to track my progress, and so I have a little visual reminder. And so every time I budget, for instance here, I mean, it's going to show I'm over budgeted just because I don't have any accounts or any money in this budget yet, but when I put $500 in there, it's going to show me, oh look, I'm 8% complete on the way to the goal. So that's why I really like the spending goal by date for something like this for the Roth IRA, because I know it's $6,000 for the entire year if I want to max that out. Okay, so for my brokerage account, now, in the video I posted where I set up my 2021 rough annual budget and announced what my investing goal is for 2021, which I will link up here if you have not seen that video yet already, I calculated in that video that I would need to save or invest roughly $2,400 into my brokerage account in order to meet my total investing goal for 2021. So even though I don't have a strict idea or amount of what I'm going to budget every single month, because some of this is going to be dependent on how much I get from side hustles or my part-time job. That's where a lot of the money that I'm going to put towards my brokerage account is going to come from. I'm still going to create a goal for this. This will be another needed for spending, and the amount will be, let's see, $2,400. And again, this is going to be by date because I want to invest $2,400 throughout the entire year. I'm going to save. So it's going to tell me that in general, I need to budget $171 every single month to quote unquote stay on track. And so this will give me an idea every single month to know, again, similar to the Roth IRA, how close am I to hitting this goal? Am I behind or ahead of the curve? So that's going to be the brokerage account. Moving into savings. So these first 4 categories I talked a lot about in my first video in part 1 where I set everything up. I'm not going to contribute anything to these categories because the amounts listed here on the lines represents the money that I'm already going to have budgeted towards this category as of the 1st of January once I, move all of my accounts from my old budget into this new budget. So for all of these, I'm just going to create a goal of target savings balance, no date, and just enter what I should have saved for each of these. And so then, for instance, when I budget out the $1,500 into the 1 month buffer, this available over here will show a check mark that I've reached that goal. So that's the only reason I'm assigning a goal to these categories, just because I like the visual that YNAB gives you. And then now that I'm looking at this, I think I actually need to add a category underneath this savings. So this is a new category that I am creating, and I'm doing this because I'm going to be budgeting $100 a month into this category so that by the end of 2021, I'll have another $1,200 saved, and I'm just going to kind of treat that as like a second month buffer, similar to this 1 month buffer, which if you want to learn more about, again, check out part 1 where I explained why I'm having this 1 month buffer. But I'm going to be adding $100 a month into this new category so that by the end of 2021, I'll have roughly 2 months buffer saved up, as well as continuing to budget ahead and budget in the future by 1 month. So for this goal, we'll just do $100 a month saved. And similarly, for my next year deductible, where I'm going to be saving up to cover my medical deductible for 2022, I will be doing $200 every single month and $400 every single month for my car replacement category. And then there's going to be no goal set for my holding or end of quarter bonus, because that is just funded with extra money that I don't really know what to do with at the time that I receive it. And then there will be no goals set for any of my hidden categories. Most of this is just related to the wish farm, and I don't have any goals set for that yet. So I think that's everything. Now, if I click up here on this little square and highlight all of my categories, if I come over here, it will tell you how much I'm underfunded, and that's based on what my monthly or needed for spending goals are. So it's saying that I need $2,305.20 to hit all of my goals. And again, that's not counting any of these categories that I had the target balance, because since it's not associated with a date, YNAB doesn't consider that a missed goal if you haven't met it yet. So you can see even when I select or deselect those categories, it doesn't change how much I'm underfunded by. So that is how much I need roughly every month to hit my goals. Now, again, keep in mind that some of these goals are less than what I'll actually be budgeting for every month. Like the Roth IRA is not actually $428 every month, it's $500 every month. The math is a little off just because, again, it's counting November and December, but that gives you an idea of what my monthly expenses and savings will be every single month. Okay, so yeah, that is everything for this video. It's a pretty simple video, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to walk through my budget a little bit more, talk about it a little bit more, and give y'all some real life examples on all the different types of goals YNAB has and how you can actually implement them in your budget. So again, part 3 will be where I add in all of my accounts and actually budget out the starting balances into my categories. And in that video, that is where I will be budgeting out my end of year bonus paycheck that I've been saving up for the past couple of months in my previous budget. Make sure that you are subscribed down below for that. And then let me know down below as well what your favorite YNAB goal type is, or at least the one that you use the most in your budget. I used to use mainly the monthly savings builder, and then when they redid a lot of their goals, like I said earlier this year, that's when I started to use a lot more of the needed for spending goal. So I really like the needed for spending goal, especially the by date goal. All right, so I hope y'all are staying safe and healthy and that you have a good rest of your day.